interesting day as you join us. Invite you to share with us initially, get a chance to talk about the upcoming Olympic qualifier match. So, talk a little football. Later on, we talk a little health. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email Talk Today at candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Flow,
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. 949-8037 or 949-6990. Likewise, with the kind compliments of Flow, we offer you a toll-free number. 1-800-534-8255. 1-800-534-8255. And if you wish, you prefer, and you want to send us a WhatsApp, well, 925-3261. Let's start off with some open line. As we mentioned, in a short while we get a chance to talk about some men's football. There's a preliminary men's Olympic qualifying matches coming up on the 25th through the 28th. I get a chance to share with you. It's going to happen at the Truman Borden Sports Complex. But until then, let's have a chat and have you share with us about the opportunities that exist in this country. And if I may, with the gentleman's, not just his consent, and I don't want to say his insistence, but he shared that over the last few weeks in particular, he was listening. He referenced a couple of comments that were made here from some of our guests. He said the inferences from some of the callers, and if I didn't mistake, I was thinking that I didn't hear him correctly. He was also sort of alluding to some of the things that I may have said. And as he was talking, I thought, what was that song? It's not what I did, it's what I didn't do. And he was sharing. Now, for him, he's been in this country, what? I know it has to be 30-odd years that I've known him. Fellow who, he says, back in his country, going to university, today would almost seem like the second step, as if you would leave primary school and go to high school. But many people didn't realize that that was a privilege that was reserved for some. Today, yes, more are going to university, but two things unfolding now. Just so that there is no misunderstanding. This is home for him. Even though he came here as an adult, yes, he may have made his fortunes here. Yes, he may have come to the country with some fortune, but this is home. And I say that because I think it is people like him who remind us of what we have in this country. And I want to, if you would, perhaps take me up on what I share, but as we listen to individuals like this, it is evident that we live in a wonderful place that unfortunately too many of us take for granted the things that we see as everyday. Now, as he shared with the whole issue of university, he says, back in his country of birth, whereas in the past, in the days, when he was younger and was going to be, trying to get into university, it was still a privilege almost. Now it's almost an expectation. It's just another step in a person's education. The difference back then, with that university qualification, he was almost not only assured of a job, but a top-paying job relative to the others in the workforce. Now, that university qualification is becoming increasingly difficult. And he shared that compared to what we see in Cayman, a large industrialized nation like his country of birth with tens of millions of people, Cayman, relatively small place, relatively small population, and whereas in his view, the citizens of the country who are qualified and even with some experience are having it just as difficult to find employment, just like back in his country of birth. And yet, here, unlike there, when it comes to the sort of the high skill, high wage, sort of knowledge base sector, here we have lots of people on a work permit. Now, he shared that frustrates him, and he wasn't born here. That frustrates him, and he can measure his time in decades. He wonders to what extent that should frustrate, and he used the word frustrate, and maybe I'll try to capture the reason why he said he used it. He says, would that also frustrate the policymakers, the politicians, the policymakers that are the business leaders who directly and indirectly influence the government, the elected as well as the appointed government? Should that also frustrate the educators, the teachers in the classroom as well as those in administration? Should also frustrate the parents? Because he says it's evident that it has caused a great deal of frustration on the part of the students. Now, he said in using the word frustrate is that for him it's confusing. It is, how can that be? It doesn't seem that it makes sense. But for the young people, it is frustration that leading to a sense of emotion, anger, resentment, this thing that they're not able to cope with because they've invested through scholarship, in some cases loans and others. Parents have spent funds, they've gone off to university, they've come back with postgraduate qualifications, some even have professional qualifications, and they either A, not finding meaningful employment, B, when they do, it's expected to be at a lower pay, and there's some reason, read in the brackets, excuse given as to why that is justified. Now, that's for those who have that level of qualification, whether it's doctor, lawyer, accountant, teacher, engineer, what have you. But even those who are in the more technical areas, the plumbers and mechanics and electricians and the like. Now, for those people who are in the education system who leave after a period of time and they don't have the skill sets that seem to position them to be perceived as being able to read and write or to do so effectively, they have even a more challenging time finding employment. And if we continue with this pace, not just at the speed of development, at the nature of the development, but at the seemingly almost inability of the local populace to access what seems to be a growing economy, what will that look like down the road? 10 years, 50 years. Now, we may not have to wait that long if we're seeing some of the things that are becoming, in his mind, very evident. Now, he shared as a story some incident that occurred in recent time. He said, took a group of youngsters on a particular trip, and while there, they saw a number of things, participated in different activities, and even though the trip was designed to be of a particular nature, you get a chance to chat. And one of the youngsters, something transpired and got a little, agitated, frustrated, and so we have an exchange of words. That led, he said, to an opportunity to try to understand. It wasn't anything significant that should have provoked this thing. It's just that this thing was reminiscent of something else that had happened here in Grand Cayman. And he thought, wow, it was evident that this individual had experienced what, to the gentleman's mind, could amount to an element of racism, discrimination, prejudice, exclusion, and the like. And to think now that we're ignoring that in our society. Now, as I listened to him and I shared that these are the kind of people who come to a country who not just assimilate and acclimate and integrate and do all the things to help advance the society. They have this great vested interest, not because it's good for their investment, not just because it's good for their long-term safety and security and prosperity and the like, but because these people are the people, no matter where they go, they're going to add value. And I believe, thankfully, we have more of those. But as the gentleman shared, increasingly, we're seeing people. Now, he said he used the word to describe a particular behavior that is evident in our society. And he says, he said it again recently to a group of people that he thought were friends and colleagues. They participate in similar activities. They lend their hands and their wallets at times to assist in certain, what we would call, charitable endeavors. But he said there's a growing level of pawn scum in our society. And he said, yet we don't seem to want to acknowledge that has happened. Not just the parasites and the bottom feeders, he said, not just the people who come and, he used a particular phrase that I'm not quite sure that I was able to capture it. But a mutual friend there said, well, he talking about the boogie yaga behavior, as it were. I thought, I didn't understand his terminology, but he said these are people who come and maybe in the West Bay parlance, the bad-mindedness, the negative connotations, the condescending tone, the way they speak to everybody else. This notion that they can engage in activities and summon and dismiss as if they, were sort of Lord and Master, as it were. And he says it's becoming evident that our society is grappling with an increasingly number of issues, in particular the issues that affect the way society engages with itself, the way we value and view certain things, the way we even treat behavior. We see something that is not accepting, but we turn a blind eye. We are willing to look at certain things and just allow it to continue, and we even seem to reward certain behaviors. Now, we share that a country this size, with a population of this size, if we don't get it in check now, what's going to happen down the road? And I thought that over the years, having a chance to chat with him, not just to get an insight because of his experience and expertise and the areas in which he's skilled, but to also understand from his travels, from what he sees here, from the way he interacts, that he also has a very heavily vested interest in the outcomes, the very positive outcomes of our people. Anyway, we're going to pause and take a short break. When we come back, Miss Susan, we'll have the good folks from, talking to us about some football. Hey, why not? I can dream about it. I might not have been able to play. I may not be able to jump as high and run as fast, but boy, when you go to sleep with the ball in your hand, you wake up and you go, man, I could be like Pele and Zico, or as some of the youngsters nowadays will talk about the Ronaldos and the name. Well, they just poor boys. They're not as good, but you can't tell them that. All right, when we come back, let's talk football. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
What do we love more than summertime? Extra flights between Cayman and Jamaica with Cayman Airways, of course. Cayman Airways has added extra flights weekly for travel between Grand Cayman and Kingston this July and August. Visit family and friends in Jamaica or send for them to visit you in Cayman. But hurry, these extra seats will sell out fast, so book yours today. Remember now, check-in time is 2 hours before departure. Call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Contact a travel agent or book online at CaymanAirways.com. Kingsports Center Art of Fun Summer Camp is back from July 2nd to August 2nd. Now in its 15th year, the Art of Fun Camp is ideal for kids ages 5 through 10 with activities from football, basketball, dodgeball, squash, rock climbing, arts and craft, dance, singing, and more. Your child can practice physical and social skills while having fun in a safe and secure environment. For more info, call 946-KING. Like King's Sports Center on Facebook, and you can also find them on Instagram or call 946-5464. King Sports Center, providing you with all your fitness, recreation, and relaxation needs. Register before May 31st and save 10% on camp registration.
Radio Cayman 3 to 6 mix on the weekdays. Brought to you by
Cayman Insurance Center, serving the community for 45 years. Don't take chances with your family's future. Call Denise Brown at 814-7229 or Michael Webster at 925-5433. Fitness Plus and Train with Dre. Getting in shape has never been easier with the mobile fitness app by Train with Dre and the new Eco Power Sport Art equipment.
Every day.
All the time.
Visit fitnessplus.com for more information. And City Walk, serving Chinese, Japanese, and Filipino dishes until 11 p.m. each night. East meets West at City Walk. Dine in, take out, or order online. See their full menu at citywalk.ky. Call 947-9965.
Ultimate Party Show in the afternoon. Radio Cayman Super Jam. Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back in. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm laughing with these fine young gentlemen. I hope that they forgive me for being jovial. If I can't be as young and handsome as them, at least I can laugh and pretend. But when I get a chance to chat about sports, but football in particular, I think I say this with all sincerity. I believe it's probably the best, if not definitely one of the best sports in the world for a number of reasons. We all can play. Some must play better than others. We can spectate, we can enjoy it, male or female, young or just young at heart. It's a sport that we can play for always, And I think sometimes we get to live vicariously through those on the field, thinking that we can do it almost as good, but, make it look easy. A good friend, Anton Seymour Chico, it's our pleasure to have you in the studio, and as we go around the table and have a chance to chat about the upcoming sort of, Olympic qualifiers. I remember, dreaming about one day wanting to play, but I guess that dream could still come true. What do you think, Chico?
When they got overage players, once you qualify, you're still eligible.
See if you can reach that formula. But hold on, you need to be able to get on the field. But this is the beautiful part, and I was just thinking as you guys were coming in that even on maybe it's a Wednesday evening, maybe it's a Sunday morning, maybe it's a Saturday night, doesn't matter. You go out with some friends and you do a little pickup game and you knock it around. And maybe you don't get 90 minutes, and maybe you'll get 9 minutes if you're lucky. But you can still feel the camaraderie, you can still feel the energy, and then you can still feel that this is something that gets the body moving. Now, when you think of World Cup or Olympics and you're part of it, maybe it's a family member playing, maybe you're in the stands cheering for your country. It's almost that same level of energy and enthusiasm and excitement. But as we go around now, as team manager, you want to make the instructions of Michael and Joshua, or how you want to do this?
Yeah, well, I can do it.
All right. Thanks, man.
So I got myself, Antoine Seymour, the team manager for the Olympic team. Along with here, I have Michael Johnson, which is the assistant, Joshua Frederick, which is our team captain, Cameron Gray, which is our vice captain, and Anthony Nelson, sorry, I keep calling Antoine, but
I know it, because he's almost as handsome as you. It's hard to...
he's a little bit better looking.
A little bit? No. But this is what I think football is. This is a seriousness during training and when we're on the pitch. But there's always a lot of laughter, and if you gentlemen don't mind me saying, love, the gap of love that you find within the players. You'll be joking amongst ourselves when we're in a hotel on a trip. Not just to make it less sort of stressful, because when we go to play, but Michael, from the perspective of having to coach, having to get the guys ready, you're not only looking at the physical preparation, but the mental. You want them to be there thinking, knowing exactly where the next guy is going to click and the like. Now, when they told me Michael Johnson was coming over, I said, the Olympic guy. But I see the sense of what better looking. What is it that like, man? Being part of the organizational aspect of it as well. Because they need to be in top form, mentally, physical, spiritually, emotional. They need to have all the food, the rest, the sleep. They need to have it all.
Yeah, and this would be something that these guys would be aware of. I mean, it's not their first tournament or anything, so something they're familiar with. You spoke about the guys joking and stuff. That's a part of team chemistry, which you need on the field. Be able to talk to each other, laugh at each other. Maybe have to get down on each other sometimes, and that's all a part of the game.
Yeah, know that it is to get the job done.
Yeah.
Now, Joshua, from the perspective of the captain, so the captain, the manager, the coach, they all have different but similar roles.
Yes, sir.
Because on that field, you look for not just leadership, but you need to have that energy. Whether you're up 10-0 or whether you're down by a goal, you need to be on every which way. You got the shoulders to carry it, man.
Well, with that role now, I just think it's more about being like a big brother. Whereas as a coach and a team manager, you have to be more a father figure or, uncle figure type thing,
Oh, and they all love to fill out his Ooh, see, you come back full circle. but it's true, man. Well, Cameron, if I can think of from the perspective of watching you, if you don't mind, I say this respectful, from the very early days playing, someone showed you the ball and you say, ball.
Yeah.
And then you come into the stage where you are, where this ball is just another part of the boot.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, playing from young, we all played in the primary school league, and now we're under 20s, going from 9 to 20, it's a big step. So, I mean, I feel like through the years, we've all learned things and we've all grew together. I knew these boys since I was five, you know? So we all have the team chemistry. I feel it's going to be good. I feel we're all brothers in this together. So
yeah, man. Well, I could get, Chico to tell us more about the tournament, but I always want to say Anton. I just teasing him, man. Hearing what your team captain and vice captain share. Talk to us.
No, I agree exactly what they're saying, and I think that Joshua and Cameron have two different roles, even though it's a vice and captain thing. I mean, Link is more of a big brother, but then also Cameron can take it from a different sort of point, and I think they complement each other in it. It's just been a good camp. It's been a long camp, so we've all really gotten to know each other even better. We've all been away, separate places and whatnot, but now I think we're all just really confident about and really ready for the tournament.
Chico, if I may ask, and we'll focus on the tournament and get hopefully not just the football, avid football fans out there and sharing and watching the game, but for those of us who may have been away for a while. But you've always championed this notion that we need to bring the team together from early, keep them together for long, so that they grow stage to stage, but they become better. This team.
Yeah, but it goes back to what I used to say years ago. For too many years, Kim On used to put together the microwave team, where he put the team together last minute and expect the best results out of it. If you want to have good results, you got to treat it like a turkey. You got to put it in the oven, you got to slow roast it, you got to bake it, you got to keep basting it to get the best out of it. And with this group of boys, is a merger now of two different groups. The previous under-20 team and then the older under-20 team are now combining pretty much into the one under-23 team. And majority of these players has been together, like Cameron says, from the time they were little kids. International-wise, I would say they played about 3 tournaments together with each other. So the mixture of it is a good cohesive bond. I just talk about age. You've been around when Cameron died. I was a little boy. So.
Okay, I walked into that. But don't worry now. I know where you live. But this is the fun that I think that football is, team sports in general, but football in particular. And you'll remember the wins and the near wins, but you will always remember the foolishness that you did in the hotel room. The comments on the bus, they ride back and forth, even as difficult sometimes the travel can be with the airports. You remember those things, and then your children become friends. When you're old and your grandparents, Chico, you still remember the days. He talks about when Adam and you were first playing. It wasn't an apple. He said it was a football. The argument was about, right, Chico? You remember?
You mean the one when you were playing with the dinosaurs?
No, but seriously,
I like to say something that Coach Giller always said to players, and a lot of players never really got the drift of it.
Yeah.
When you're competing in a World Cup qualifier, an Olympic qualifier, you are part of the World Cup. You're a part of the Olympics. You mightn't be at the actual ceremony, but because you were there, you go down in the history books of playing a World Cup qualifier, an Olympic qualifier. So you make history no matter what the results are at the end of the day. So just to be a part of it means you're actually part of history.
Now tell us about this particular tournament, because that is what I wanted to get to, the notion that this is part of history. This is, Olympic qualifiers. We're bringing some teams over, but tell us about it.
So the Olympics, as you know, every 4 years, like the World Cup, but the men's Olympics stays under 23. I guess more for the professional atmosphere to keep it more of a not less professional, but a little more on the amateur level, more opposed to the thing. Where the women in the Olympics is open age, but men nowadays under 23. With the qualifyings, you go through 3 group stages when you're coming from the Caribbean. You do first the individual groups, then you move from the group winners, now move on to another level. Then there you the best, I think it's 3 teams out of the Caribbean, then goes on, including, I guess, what is North America? So the path to get to the Olympics is a lot harder from the Caribbean.
Yeah, I mean, because you go through, you said Canada, US, and
Canada, the Mexico,
which usually the top 3.
Yeah.
So get in there. Well, we can do it, and it's not saying this to cause you to believe in yourselves only, but because we believe in you. I think back, and this shouldn't just be our sort of pivotal moment, but the Shell Cup. It wasn't the visitor of the Queen in and of itself. It was what the country expected. And as we believe in ourselves, as we go to the pitch and as we come out and support, that victory is ours. Now, Mr. Captain, from that perspective, get your team on the field. They feel the victory? They feel the win?
I think so. I think my boys confident, and I think nothing stopping this team from going on to the next stage besides ourselves.
I look at the flyer, and the first game is against Grenada, the opening match. Chico, I mean, from the public listening come out, it's going to be a wonderful sort of, couple of days of football.
Well, when we think about sports, we think about the 12th man, right? We've mentioned that, or we fought for this tournament to be placed at home. This tournament was originally supposed to be in Haiti, but with the current conditions that are in Haiti, the crime and the stuff, a request was made between Cayman and Grenada to request it to be moved. Grenada agreed to come to Cayman, so we end up being here. But being at home, we're only as strong as the 12th man that we have on the field. And the 12th man is the public. Family, friends, spectators, supporters. We need that 12th man. When you're home, you want to hear more crowd cheering for Cayman opposed to cheering for Grenada. We know we have a lot of foreign-based people here in this island, but we have a lot of foreign-based people that support Cayman. So we're expecting that foreign base to come and support Cayman.
I think, Michael, from that perspective, that the support of the fans. I mean, you love football, you'll watch a match, even if it's not your team playing, if it's good football. But when it's your team playing, how do we get the fans behind us and be the 12th man on the field?
Well, I would say on the pitch, it's really the guys' performance that will help drive the spectators to cheer more and stuff. But before the match, I guess it's just a sign of pride and patriotism. I mean, it's the country playing on the pitch. Yeah. So it starts from that, really, patriotism, I would say.
3 games over 3 nights. Take on Grenada and then Haiti. And then,
just the 2,
Grenada and then Haiti and Grenada take on the next night. So we could come out and see those 2 teams. And then the final night, we come to the pitch to play against Haiti. Cameron, when you look at sometimes the football and the level of football and the level, I would say even the youngsters, those under 23, and then you see for those who are older, they're reminiscing about what could have been, what should have. I talked about the Shell Cup, for instance. But you guys are still looking forward to being in the World Cup, lifting up that trophy. It's a dream. We can do it.
Yeah, I feel like all of us, we've played for national teams since under 15. I feel every age group is a preparation for the next age group. So right now this is under 23, so I feel like we go out there, we give it our best shot, but at the same time it's, okay, this is prep for the next 2, the next 3, the next 4 years, 5, 6, 7. We're all everyone is, I feel every age group is now preparing for the next age group while being ready for what's happening now.
Until from our perspective, if I think I know some of the players and I look back, and not just the early days that they were playing, some easy to 15 years, schooling together and playing. But there's a strong mix of people from their initial backgrounds, and they've all sort of come here. Joshua goes back to the early days. I think my dad would tell me that he remembers watching his people play, because we're the first settlers, despite what I say. And then there are others who have come a generation or two before. But this is home. That can be for us, right?
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think it only makes us stronger,
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at other powerhouses, even in the Caribbean or wherever else, they've always benefited from migration and other countries come into the mix and other styles. And I think that, when you see our current crop of players now, there's definitely a mix, and I think we're complementing each other really well. So that's all.
It should go from the manager's perspective, that complement of styles of play, of personalities, and then that meshing on the field. I watched some of the training some time back, and it was only a few minutes, but just a scrimmage. I thought, hey, this guy has come a long way. Yeah, it's been a few years, but sometimes when you see things for the first time in a long time, it's almost seen it for the first, and you can remember the improvements. You guys have come a long way, not just the abilities. No, when we come back from the short break, talk more about the tournament, get the tickets the night of the game. All right, a little bit more about football. Yeah, I love the sport. Yeah, I think it's the best sport. If you have a problem with that, take it up with Chico. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Sometimes having a middleman is not a bad thing, especially when it comes to insurance. Do you know that when it comes to cost, ease, speed, and peace of mind, insurance brokers ranked higher than when customers buy direct? So, for all your insurance needs, call Fidelity Insurance. We're the middleman you want. Call us today at 949-7822. Fidelity. We're good for you.
RC Fusion, featuring Billboard's pop hit songs and more from the 70s to the 90s.
RC Fusion.
Weekdays from 10 a.m. till 12. RC Fusion.
Brought to you by Tasty Patties, baked fresh every 30 minutes. Available at Tortuga locations, the Patty Express Industrial Park, and Bake It and Take It on Eastern Avenue. Get tasty now.
Stay up to date with the latest in healthy living and fitness trends every Saturday morning at 9:30 and Wednesday at 7 p.m. for the health of it with Tara Bush.
Most clinics in the United States, they kind of like one surgery fits all. You're saying, that's not necessary. That's not going to be the case with me. And that's good to hear.
For the health of it is proudly brought to you by GNC. Join the GNC community and take advantage of their discount days, the first 7 business days of every month and every Wednesday. GNC. Believe in the power of nutrition.
The Breeze Fusion is back Saturday, November 2nd.
Bigger and better.
Now featuring a 5K walk run and a 10K run for half marathon trainers. Join the fun and help raise funds for the Central Scranton Park and the NCVO. Save the date or register now at CaymanActive.com or at Radio Cayman Studios. Registration is only $15 if registered by September 30th. And all early registrants enter to win a Cayman Airways voucher. The Breeze Fusion 5K, 10K walk run. Saturday, November 2nd.
Talk today. But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. And thanks very much for allowing me to be able to sit here and have this discussion. It's an honor. It's inspiring. I'm very encouraged as I look around the table and I see not just youthful energy, but a sense of maturity and conviction and commitment, not just to the sport of football, but to who we are, and honored to help not only to promote, but support, but equally encourage us to value. Anton Seymour, Michael Johnson, Joshua Frederick, together with Cameron Gray and Anthony Nelson. I was just sort of casting back in my mind the ideas when
in the Olympics.
Yeah. How you not going to say that? The very first Olympics, well, it was the prelude to the first Olympics. It was the trial. It was 100 years before the first Olympics. And it was interesting, but the very first one. But that is the beautiful part. Our first time that we upgraded some of our facilities to be able to play, football. And now we have not just FIFA regulated pitch. We got pitches. We got some of the best facilities, not just in the region, but whole its own. We have come a long way, and thankfully it's because of investment in players like you and your investment in yourselves. To be an athlete takes a lot. That's what Chico says. I should be. I haven't seen it in a couple of days, boy. Not really. but no, seriously, Chico. The idea that football, like, you leave the stands and you feel like you just want to go back and get in shape again or stay in shape, and that's just the referees. The games. Tell us about it, and how do we find out more? Because I know young people like you guys are on. What do they call it? Social media?
Social media.
I just on the social, man.
CIFA has an official Instagram page. It's the CIFA official. Mm-hmm. So it's not the fake, it's the official. You can follow us on the CIFA official. Tag us and put photos that you take. Show us your support. Yeah. It's like I've said to the boys outside, our biggest issue in the Cayman Islands is lack of support. Right, the more support, the more things we can achieve. We won't turn around and say we can't achieve it without the support, but we can achieve a lot more with the support.
You guys heard him say it, then. He needs support. I'll get you to 18 hour, man. Don't worry. Ms. Susan says we have a call online. Chat with our callers a bit. Okay. Hey, good afternoon and welcome as we talk about the upcoming Olympic qualifier. Welcome to Talk Today.
Hey, good afternoon, Dwayne.
Hey, the football star himself. What's up, man?
Okay, and good afternoon to you guests.
Afternoon.
Okay, do you all believe that Cayman is able to have a national team that would be able to qualify to play in the World Cup?
Chico?
Hey, how you doing? I personally believe Cayman is like everywhere else in the world. 23 players are selected to represent them. If you look at Brazil, they may have millions of people to choose from, but at the end of the day, only 23 people can represent Brazil at the World Cup. Cayman has 23 players also. Jamaica has 23. Mexico, Argentina, you think about it, has 23 players. The difference between Cayman and Brazil, the opportunities those 23 players will have in preparation is a lot more than what we get. If we had the same opportunities to play the friendlies, to get the right support, the financial support, the opportunities, yes, I feel Cayman can go to the World Cup. It's just a matter of support. You can't expect to throw $5 at something and get $1 million in return unless you're a good investor. But we haven't found that good investor yet.
Well, what do you think, if I may ask?
Okay. Well, to be a professional, you have to live like a professional.
I agree.
And that's what the government is not doing.
I mean,
with our football players, for example, if the government were spending money on you all and had you all in a camp with your own apartments, seeing that you eat the right food all the time, seeing that you're paid on a monthly basis, seeing that you're in classroom half of the day and the other half of the day you're on the field, seeing that at least twice a month you all go overseas and play against, say, Argentina's national team, Brazil's national team. If Cayman was to get serious and do it that way, we would be able to have a better opportunity in qualifying to be able to participate and qualify to play in the World Cup. Until government does that in that way, I think we're never going to have that opportunity. Thank you very much.
Well, I hear you, and I'll respond. But Chico?
And I totally agree with you. And I'll touch something on top of what government has done. I mean, if you look at Kareem Street, Sidoni Motherstill, Kimar Hyman, Ronald Forbes. They're all Olympians. What they have in common? The government support, the financial support from the corporate sector, the financial support from our local, right? I mean, they are training around the clock. They're getting paid to become these Olympians. Football, we'd like to have the same support too. We want to all become Olympians too, but we need that financial support from everyone, just like how they get it.
And I'll be in, not just like you said, government, corporate sector, but the respective associations, and I'm happy to engage in that discussion. But I think as we look at the football, maybe we as the fans can start by supporting and coming out and watching the game, cheering as loud as we can. It's the victory that we want, but it's not just that victory on that one night or over a tournament or even winning the Olympic gold medal or the World Cup. It's the successive victories over successive generations, so that we raise the country. And we're not there yet, but we're getting there.
I would like to add though as well that I know from the outside, I mean, people might not be as aware, but there has been a lot of growth as far as, individual players are concerned. We have far more semi-professional and even a couple professional players at the moment that are part of the national team setup. So, I mean, I don't know too far back into history when we've had that we've had that before, So there is obviously, with limited support, obviously the growth is going to be slower, but we're still actually making movement.
And this is unfortunately when we get these discussions. Sometimes they're necessary, but those who should attend and be a part of it not unwilling for different reasons. But that's us who can be a part of it, come out and show that physical support. If you have to go back to work the next day and your voice is a little bit because you were shouting and screaming, let that be because you have that sense of national pride.
Exactly.
Those people who are playing professional and semi-professional, well, those people who are in university and tertiary education because of scholarships, that's an investment. Chico, I could talk about this all day long, but we can if you want to. I might promise you might get in trouble, but for the game, I mean, it's the 24th through the 28th of this month, right? So we can get tickets.
Yeah, the tickets are available at eventpro.ky. They're also available at HNB SO Shedden Road and HNB SO West Bay Road. And they'll be also available, I guess, through NFCFA executive members. They will have access to tickets.
All right, so we can get the games, man. I know we got a news break coming up. I got a couple minutes. I know you guys got to get back to work. You want to continue after, or we can just call it that for the day? What do you think?
Continue.
Yeah, see that voice? No, I know you have to get back to work.
Yeah.
Sorry about that voice. I'm at work, so it's okay. And what about you? You got a couple of extra minutes?
Yeah,
All right, we'll talk some more football after the news, but before we go, any final words that you may want to leave with, not just with your teammates and the manager and the coach and the like, but the listeners?
I just want to say that coming back down from England and looking at the team, I feel like this is one of the strongest teams I've been a part of, and I feel like we have great quality from the keeper straight to the striker, straight to every single man on the bench. So I would just say to everyone, come out, support. We're only as strong as you guys in the stands, so if you come and just give us the strength that we need to just push us over, I mean, we could get to where we need to be when it comes to football. So it just starts with us, but it could end with you guys in the stands. So
together we strong, right?
Together we strong.
There we go, man. That'll be your campaign slogan. All right, let's hit the news break. When we come back, let's talk about more football, and let's see how we can look at this as a way to build up the nation and its pride. And take some calls if those want to share with us. So the games are coming up end of this month. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio K-Man. Radio K-Man's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
I'm April Cummings with your headlines. 12 women and 12 men are now 6 weeks into their initial training with the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. The recruits were chosen following a local recruitment drive, which concluded last August. They range in age from 19 to 41. In international headlines, North Korea today suggested that it might call off its 20-month suspension of nuclear and missile tests because of summertime U.S.-South Korean military drills that the North calls preparation for an eventual invasion. The statement by the North's foreign ministry comes during a general deadlock in nuclear talks, but after an extraordinary meeting of the U.S. and North Korean leaders at the Korean border that raised hopes negotiations would soon resume. A 27-year-old man has been charged with murder and rape in the killing of an American scientist who disappeared on the Greek island of Crete. Her body was found in a tunnel formerly used as a storage site during World War II. Crete police said a Greek man from the island confessed to the, quote, violent criminal act, telling investigators he struck Suzanne Eaton with his car and abducted her, motivated by the intent to commit sexual assault. The scientist was visiting Crete on a conference. A record-setting 32 Emmy nominations for HBO's Game of Thrones for its 8th and final season, leading HBO back to dominance over Netflix, the streaming service that bumped it last year from atop the increasingly crowded television heap. The saga's total eclipsed the all-time series record of 27 nods earned by NYPD Blue in 1994. Those are your headlines. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
I've got some beautiful clothes. I know just where they go. Puritan Cleaners.
Meet the world with Puritan professional launderers and dry cleaners. Call 949-7104 for opening hours at Puritan's Countryside Savannah, Elgin Avenue besides Off the Peg, and 337 Eastern Avenue. Drive through, rain or shine. Ask about Puritan's ongoing discounts, plus free pickup and delivery. Call 949-7104. Puritan's 949-7104.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. I'm laughing, but for many reasons, and only because my good friend Chico sits next to me. He showed me a bit of a picture. Boy, I tell you, of him in the studio. Anton Simo and Michael Johnson. Just as we talk about the upcoming Olympic qualifiers, we had a vote, and since Cameron was the most handsome, we say he couldn't stay in the room. He had to go back to work. You make the rest of us not look so good, but as his captain, Joshua Frederick, together with Anthony Nelson. Chico, this tournament and the team, the tickets and the fans as the 12th. But if you would, and if you could, I don't want you to give away any strategies. I don't want to ask anything properly. But sometimes we as fans wonder, well, who's playing? Who's the team? And some of us, you share as much as you wish. I believe it's a very strong team. I believe the preparation has been excellent. The guys look, well, I wouldn't say they're better in shape than me because they're not saying much. But Josh, your team looks very, very, very willing and easily should emerge victorious in this tournament.
My team is like Chico said before. This is not our first rodeo to say. This is a team with a lot of experience internationally and locally, like winning stuff as well. So I think we can pull off our result.
Yeah, man. I think so too.
So if you want, I can list the 20 players that were selected for the final group. You have Akeem Hyde, Albertini Holness, Anthony Nelson, Bardray Tibbetts, Cameron Gray, Christopher Nunez Reeves, Dante Ramon, Elijah Seymour, Jabari Campbell, Joshua Frederick Charlie, Cameron DeHue, Kareem Foster, Leighton Thomas Jr., Mason Duval, Michael Martin Cruz, Ronaldo McLaughlin, Ramon Sebastian Martinez, Shakur Welcome, Trey Ebanks, and Zachary Scott. So the group is well mixture of a number of generations because our oldest player, I think it's Josh is our oldest player, with Bard Tibbetts as our youngest. So we got a 1997 and a 2002 player.
Yeah.
So
you see, he do the years in the car, and he got a vintage '97. but that sense of experience, not just from the different tournaments, but the ages, I feel the maturity, and I think that brings the sense of Chico, as you talked about all along, the continuity as the players move from one bracket to the next. You're bringing up businesses talk about succession planning. It's the same thing. You have that stock from before that can help to build. Makes your job, Michael, a little bit easier.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
it really does, man. No, for us as players, and I believe many of us, honestly, we still see football as that thing that can bring a country together. Not just the Olympics, not just the World Cup, but just the pick-up games where we see people, and not just the poor nations for which this is, an escape, a sense of, but for Cayman as well, that is in transition.
I go back to something that earlier callers mentioned about if Cayman can achieve certain things. Just this group alone, we have over 100 players to choose from. I mean, not every player on the same level, but eligibility-wise, there was over 100 players we could have choose from to bring this thing down to 20.
Yeah.
We don't have millions, but we still, at the end of the day, Haiti is only going to bring 20 players. Grenada is only going to bring 20 players.
But if you take, I mean, maybe I see it incorrectly, I don't know. But if you take your group, maybe you got 20 to pick from 100, as opposed to 20 to pick from 20 million. But it should be easier to identify that 20 out of 100 than it is out of 20 million, or out of 2 million, or out of 200,000. You may statistically have better options and choice the larger the population, but you can develop it.
Yeah.
I reflect on some of the names that you called, and I remember early on with them playing with the ball, and some of them didn't know if the boot went on the elbow or if it, she wear anything. But put them on the field now, and they run circles around a lot of the guys who had better skill at that age. Just a difference. I mean, fair enough, right, Joshua?
Yeah.
You practice hard, you get the appropriate coaching, you stick with it, you improve.
I agree.
Yeah. What do you think, Mr. Nelson?
I think it's both a blessing and a curse to have a massive population.
Yeah.
We have a little core of players at the moment, like Antoine said, 100 players to choose from, or even how we have now. Like there's a good 35, 40 pool that trained for the whole camp. Like that's actually a big strength when you really think about it. Like we've been training for the past 3 months all together. We all know the exact same system and strategies, and it's a lot easier to pick someone that possibly not in the 20 and put them right in. They know exactly what to do.
Yeah, and it's something that not asking for us at the table to comment, but for us outside listening, and in particular, the investment we talk about from the government, the investment from the private sector, but the associations need to be heavily invested and to develop and to make sure that we bring to the table the very best. And as long as the selection process, whatever I think is, the scholarship, the appointment of the school to send its student ambassadors, as it were, to something, or its participants in some leadership camp, as long as it's based on merit and not on favoritism, we'll always get better results. Yeah. But Chico, so you go. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, I'll give credit where credit is due. I can say that our current president, Mr. Whitaker, Alfredo Whitaker, has done tremendous things when it comes to the national program. I mean, for the first time in a long time, we have about 8 or 9 national teams that are in preparation right now. So, hats off to Mr. Whitaker for what he has done in the short period of time that he's been in charge. So, give him kudos for that.
Well, I think back to what the caller was sharing about support, and I keep asking us as a country, what is it, the squeaky wheel gets the oil? If we show support, not just the parents of the children, not just the coaches, the team managers and the players, but if we come out and show that it's one of the core sports of the country, if we show the support, if we see the investment, then maybe it'll get the investment that it deserves. But if nobody's interested in anything, the whole house that was so historic, but nobody took a value in it, it's dilapidated and then it's demolished, and then we cry about it after, well, nobody showed an interest. Whatever that thing is, if nobody is interested in it, your lone voice crying in the wilderness, right, Mr. Johnson?
Yeah.
Make a difference, huh?
Yeah, I mean, even speaking in transition, with this team here, I mean, I know a lot of people, the community should remember that under 15 tournament that played here, that big under 15 tournament, that's basically the majority of these guys. So this transition start from that under 15 until recently we played Cuba senior team twice. And that was, again, the majority of these guys here. So coming from the under 15s to play against a senior Cuba national team that went to the Gold Cup is a big transition and should be a big optimism for the community to come out and support.
Yeah. If it would be helpful, and between the two of you, I'll ask if it's okay, because you're talking about the pre-sort of qualifiers for the Olympics, you're talking about the stages.
Yeah.
We need to clear different hurdles, as it were, to get to the next level and then the next level, and they're like, we participate, we win this one. Take us through the sort of potentialities.
So there's about six or eight groups. Eight groups now competing around the Caribbean for the chance of advance to the next round. So all of the group winners advance to the next round. Then those 8 or 6 teams put together in one group. Then they play each other in a round robin competition, and then the top 2 teams, if I'm not mistaken, or top 3 teams qualify for the Olympics.
And this could be, the difference between qualifying and even just winning this round could rest on us as the fans, whether we're in the stands and cheering loudly, because you find energy. I mean, Mr. Nelson, from that perspective, sometimes when you're playing, you hear the voice of the fan, and that pushes you.
Oh, completely. Like, I think we're all just even training at Truman Bodden now, like just looking around at the stands, we're just ready, and I feel like it's just going to be next level feel. I think we're going to play out of our bodies, honestly, when we just hear the support that we know K-Man brings, when there's a big tournament.
Yeah. Was that you last night, Joshua, but after 5? Because I was over by the netball and I heard that was you. Like, come on, let's go.
That might have been
you.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, I mean, because it was last evening. I hope, just from that distance alone, I could hear the energy. I didn't come close, than the fence on. Was it the Micah more this side of it?
Coach Gilla taught him about to be very vocal.
But just to see that from that distance and just knocking the ball around closer to the change rooms, just that alone showed that, I don't know if you guys say I'm still gelling, but, Chico said, I mean, he was small, he reminded me. But it makes a big difference, yes, right? Okay, so as we wrap it up now, Chico, we can get tickets, right? Let's come out. The Truman can hold 50,000 people. We only asking for 5.
Yeah. To me, too, we got to get to the point where the support is not, can I get a free ticket? I mean, you think of a party that comes on a Friday night and you spend $35 to go there, and you want to come and support your own, and you wouldn't even spend 10, right? So we're asking, hey, support us. Give us that $10 to help towards Joshua's cutting his hair, right? Joshua getting a new pair of boots, providing shin guards, keeping the grass cut, making sure we get new uniforms, the simple things, the Gatorade, the ice, the water, all of the expenses that we have to incur. Time away from family and friends should be justified.
It's a community investment.
Yeah.
All right. Respectfully, as the officials, if I can maybe ask your players again for their final thoughts and what they would like, what they would want to share. Mr. Nelson, start with you first. If you have anything you wish to share with the listeners, and then Michael, you, and then Chico.
Just that this is a really good squad. I think it's one of the best in years, and I think that the Caymanians that do come out will be really pleasantly surprised. So I look forward to seeing you guys out there, and I can't wait.
Can't wait, man.
I think we just need a support from everybody on the island, whether you Caymanian or not. And once you love football, come support us, and we won't disappoint. My boys ready.
There we go, man.
Yeah, and again, just mirror what the guys are saying. I mean, the unity is very strong. I mean, with the coaching staff, strong coaching staff, I would say, strong unity within its coaching staff, and I feel the same with the players. So just on the 24th and the 20th, I just want the community to come out and see, bear fruit of what was been preparing for these last 3 months.
Without question. That's the team manager.
And I'll end it with something I say to the guys. the mixture of the two groups. We had one under 17 team that got a bad taste of hate in their mouth. We got one set of under 20 players that got a bad taste of hate in their mouth. Now they're combined together for under 23. We want to make hate leave it that bad taste in their mouth. So come out and support us and help us do that.
Bring us as the fans, man. And guys, thanks very much. I believe that if we continue to invest in our young people, invest in our people generally, we'll see great dividends, not just today, not just in football, but not just in sport, in our country, and the way our society moves and grows. If we can help in a way to promote, to support, I demand excellence of myself. I expect it of others as well. I'm honored and inspired that, I stand from a distance and I've watched you guys, train somewhat. I tell you what, man, very impressive. It makes me want to wish I were young and handsome again. Anyway, we can dream.
That was before talk.
All right. So football, end of the month, 24th through the 28th. Yes, get our tickets, right? Yes, all right. We'll do our best to try to remind people. And
you can also buy tickets at the gate too. So
yeah, ticket prices at the gate, no problem. You can do that, man. All right. Thanks very much. You guys have a great week, Michael, don't try to get too much water in here. Maybe rain outside, we're hot. All right, when we come back, a few minutes of open line, and then 1:30 in Nurse Laurie Elniski will join us as we tell a chance to talk about World Hepatitis Day. 2 o'clock, we got a raffle draw for you as we have a chance to partner with Cayman International Girl and draw their tickets live. So if you bought a ticket, well, I'll do my best to put my hand and mix it up. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
What do we love more than summertime? Extra flights between Cayman and Jamaica with Cayman Airways, of course. Cayman Airways has added extra flights weekly for travel between Grand Cayman and Kingston this July and August. Visit family and friends in Jamaica or send for them to visit you in Cayman. But hurry, these extra seats will sell out fast, so book yours today. Remember now, check-in time is 2 hours before departure. Call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Contact a travel agent or book online at CaymanAirways.com. The Cayman Islands Seafarers Association wishes to inform all members that there will be a general meeting on Tuesday, 16th July at 7:30 p.m. in the Seafarers Hall, 11 Victory Avenue, Prospect. There will be 3 buses from West Bay Town Hall, which leaves at 6 p.m. The Barnes bus route in Georgetown leaves the public library parking area at 6:45 p.m., stopping at the Cayman Compass Building and the Airport Fosters. The bus marked Bobo is $1 public transport and is blue in color. Pickups are from British Caymanian, Uncle Bill's, Walkers Road, Shedden Road and Crew Road. The bus from East End. Pickups are at the school parking lot, the gas station and the Wreck of the 10 Sails starting at 5:45. North side pickups are at Chisholm's Store and the soccer field starting at 6:15. The Boddentown pickups is at Lorna's gas station at 6:45 and the Savannah pickups is at the gas station at 7 p.m.
Always separate debris from household garbage after a hurricane hits. Debris includes roofing materials, downed tree branches, and metals. All items of debris must be placed in separate piles to the front of the property or at a side that is easily accessible to collection trucks. Debris must be placed in a location that will not cause obstruction to roadways or come in contact with electrical lines. For more post-hurricane waste management tips, visit the DEH website at www.deh.gov.ky.
The Tuesday and Thursday edition of The Business Buzz is brought to you by Cayman Medical Supplies, providing quality pharmaceuticals, medical supplies, and consumer products to healthcare providers, retailers, and ultimately the patients at a reasonable rate in a friendly, caring, and timely manner. Cayman Medical Supplies is located at number 93 Smith Road, Windward Center. Telephone 949-6211.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. Thank you so much for joining us, and I invite you to do a number of things. 1, call and share your thoughts with us. 2, not just take us to task, but challenge what is being said by all on Sunday. You in church on Saturday or Sunday, and the pastor, the preacher, the brother, the elder, whoever is saying something, maybe they bring the word, maybe they're sharing something after the sermon. If you don't think it's scripturally based, you can respectfully say, well, explain that. Well, no, I don't think. there's a time and place. But maybe it's the political campaign. Maybe it's the business leader. Maybe you're having a conference with your child's school teacher and you're not quite sure that you understand what is being said. Maybe your perspective isn't it. It could be that you're wrong, but you need to be informed. You question, you ask. As long as we're working hand in hand to move everything forward, I don't believe everybody should disagree with everybody just to try to get along in that sense. But don't be vitriolic and divisive simply because you can disagree. But if we don't raise the bar constantly, then how are we going to get ahead? Now, the football, I think, is a sport that I believe can do a lot for our nation and for this nation in particular. Because during the joke and the jest, and I really appreciate the chance to chat with Chico, we look up to people if they don't mind. They may not be that much older, much older than me, maybe not older than Chico, but people like Lee Ramone and people like Neil Murray, and they use football as a way to get an education, but they still inspire the nation. If you were able to watch, and whatever your political thoughts are, or whether your motivations or the like, and what are your sentiments with respect to the Celebrate Cayman weekend on that Saturday evening, the 29th of June, and to watch the number of players out there playing together, the Caymanian players as well as the visiting international players, and you watch people like Olsenbusch and Lee Ramone on the field. Joel, he got his goal, but I bet you see a couple of things. You see a passion for the sport. You see a semblance that they still value their health, their physical health, their mental health. Football can and does allow us to get there. Now, the games come up on the 24th to the 28th at the Truman Borden Sports Complex. Let's get our tickets. Let's go out and cheer on, I think, one of our best teams are going to feel as they be part of the preliminary men's Olympic qualifiers now. As promised, we'll get a chance to chat with Nurse Laura Elniski in a bit. We'll talk about World Hepatitis Day. She's going to share with us, and we'll probably get some stats, but I was looking at some notes I'd made previously, and I pulled up, sort of last year's notes, and it's interesting to see how it is. But as Nurse Laura, she is, again, an amazing complement to the health services portfolio, if I could put it that way. We'll take some calls and we'll have a chance to chat about World Hepatitis Day. Nurse Laura, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Well, I appreciate you, so graciously willing to help us to understand the importance of investing in our health and this continued partnership with the Health Services Authority. Your colleagues in the communications and PR sector, and they're amazing.
They're on top of things, huh?
Yeah. I say to the one I communicate with so often through email that I hadn't been to I call it the cinema, some people say the movie theatre.
Yep.
And there she is on the big
screen. Oh, really?
I've
not been in a while either.
I'm thinking, man, awesome. But whether we're talking about the blood bank, whether we're talking about some of the other services and things that come online, the fact is we need to be able to appreciate that we have a wonderful facility here.
We do. We are. We have. I think it was always perceived that you have to go overseas for a lot of medical treatment, whereas now the HSA has great staff, great technology, and they're always updating and being on top of things, and work very closely with the private sector as well, and always trying to do the best for our community.
And that's the part that we come in. We start to value our health. We start to appreciate how important it is. And a gentleman that I, when I see him, and I remember, but he was once an educator, always an educator.
Yeah.
And for some reason, your teachers always seem old.
Yeah,
and then when you get to a certain age, and you realize, but they have an age. So wait a minute, completely. You must be 1,000 now.
Yeah.
But he says, you walk, you remain physically active. You go in your garden, you walk the beach, for instance, and the words he shared just in those few minutes as we were sort of crossing paths has resonated with me and has encouraged and inspired. And I got the chance to chat with the footballers earlier. I thought, wow, I know their parents.
Mm-hmm.
We went to school together, we played together, and here are these, in this case, these young men who are athletic, who are fit, but who are mentally grounded, who are invested. It makes you a proud nation, a healthy nation, a wealthy nation.
Great to hear. Yeah, I think when we talk about our health, it used to be very segregated, and you went to this doctor for this thing and this doctor for one thing, and now it's a very holistic care. Yeah. We all know it all. Our mental health plays a huge aspect on our physical health, and vice versa. And we want to look after the whole person, not just the physical body as well. So, doing our regular checks and doing our physical activity and eating well is all part of pack and parcel of it.
And something that I'm increasingly sort of encouraged by is that our children, our young people, our students are starting to see the importance of leading an active lifestyle, of looking at a society and wondering, why is it that we drive everywhere? Why can't we, walk places and ride our bikes? Why aren't we outside more? And maybe it's the educational awareness programs that we have, that maybe were geared towards us as parents, that we heard but someone didn't take on board. Maybe it's being transmitted to them and they're starting to see it. And hopefully that'll mean that the society is healthier because we're much more actively engaged.
Yeah, and I think our younger generations, they are more aware of healthy eating and being physical, but I think also we have to be careful on pushing too much of that. We don't want to emphasize it kind of too much because you don't want them to become obsessed with it either. There's a fine balance of being too aware of it, and we do have issues with eating disorders and things like that, so you have to be making sure you're talking healthily, not
excessively.
Yeah, exactly. And I think sometimes you'll say to a small child, "Oh, that's good for you," or "That's bad for you." And when you talk about eating, you should be just eating what you want to eat and in moderation. It shouldn't be what's good for you and really what's bad for you.
Yeah, and make sure. And this is, I'm glad you share that, and certainly it'll help us to understand it better as you elaborated. The notion that we need to look at this in perspective and understand the context. Now, when we talk about World Hepatitis Day, Hep B, Hep C, Hep A, share with us.
So the hepatitis is a viral infection, a virus that mainly affects our liver. And on the 28th of July every year, World Hepatitis Day is monitored throughout the Caribbean and the world, and we monitor it through different initiatives that we do. This year we're focusing on hepatitis B. One of the reasons we're focusing on hepatitis B is because we are part of the elimination initiative of mother-to-child transmission of HIV and syphilis, and we're adding on hepatitis B to that elimination initiative. I've been on your show many times and talked about this initiative that we were validated, that we proved that we had eliminated mother-to-child transmission of HIV and syphilis, and we are hoping to be validated that we can add hepatitis B to that as well. So we thought we'd highlight World Hepatitis Day and the initiative together, and with that that we highlight the importance of vaccination. So it's kind of a big our overarching theme of World Hepatitis Day on the 28th of July. And when we think about hepatitis B, it's a virus, as I say, that attacks our liver or can affect our liver. Our liver is a very large organ. It's a very great organ. It regenerates very well. But if we have something that's attacking it, and that we can prevent, because we have, as I said, a great vaccine, then we are strides ahead of that virus. And if we have a virus that attacks our liver, it can develop into cirrhosis, and then this cancer of the liver can also be developed. So, and we all know that big C word is sadly destroys not only the person, but families can be very much affected. So it's hepatitis B is potentially a life-threatening liver infection, and we want to address the gap that's people don't know their. We talk about HIV status, but we also should be talking about their overall health as well, and that is having a hepatitis screen. And so I've just come from the Red Cross. We do a free clinic there on Tuesday mornings. And next week, the free clinic is mainly for HIV and for syphilis testing. But next week, we are going to add on a hepatitis screen as well. So we're going to do free screening for hepatitis.
All right. I think we have a break, Susan. When we come back, maybe you can continue to share with us, not just preventative, but causes, signs, and symptoms and everything. Because as we talk about some of these issues, maybe many of us will go around and this thing is in us, it's on our minds. Maybe we're affected by, maybe we're not even sufficiently motivated to go and check, like you said, and get the screenings because we don't think or we believe it's not that important now, it'll be later, or it's too costly, or some excuse, and not invested in our health. So looking forward to you helping us to be better prepared and healthier. All right, take some phone calls if people want to join us. Focusing on World Hepatitis Day, we'll talk about hepatitis B in particular. 949-8037 or toll free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Sometimes things just don't go as planned. That's why you need Contractors All Risk Insurance from Fidelity Insurance Brokers. Ensure you're covered in the event of property damage and third-party injury or damage claims during your construction projects. And with Fidelity Insurance Brokers, you can be sure you are getting competitive pricing and superior customer service. Call us today for a free quote. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Summertime is when Cayman Airways full of people are travel to Jamaica. If you're late for checking your flight, you will lose your seat. Remember now, check-in time for Cayman Airways flight is 2 hours before departure. Make sure you're not late.
Headlines.
With the latest headlines.
All the news when you want it. Tune in to Radio Cayman for hourly headlines of the day's top stories.
One of Cayman's bright and shining young stars.
Local, regional, international.
Turning to international news.
Updates on the hour between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. on weekdays. Radio Cayman News. Headlines. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. Thanks for joining us in the studio as we talk about World Hepatitis Day. Nurse Laura Elniski joins us, and I'm encouraged. I think I'm a positive, enthusiastic person, a realist by no stretch of the imagination, but always optimistic if you can combine the two.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that you can see outcomes if you work towards. If you're willing to put in effort, you might see the reward. If it doesn't come to you, it may come to somebody else, but the reward is there. Investing in their health, getting the screenings when they're available, and especially when they're free. So as we talk about World Hepatitis Day and hepatitis B in particular, you said next week we're going to have some free screenings.
On the 28th of July is World Hepatitis Day, so that is actually this Sunday. And so for HSA to mark this, we, as always, we partner with the Cayman Islands Red Cross. And our Tuesday clinic at the Cayman Islands Red Cross at Cayman Corporate Center on the ground floor there. We normally have our free HIV testing clinic, but this week, to mark World Hepatitis Day, we're going to add on free hepatitis screening. And working with public health in the HSA, our health tests can be a big financial burden, and it can put off a lot of people. So if we can try and remove one of the barriers to getting tested, then we would like to help out as much as possible. So by doing this, we're offering the free testing. It's a simple blood test. The test would be for hepatitis B and C. So there's many different viruses of hepatitis. A is one that can be found in food and water, but we have vaccinations for B, and C is also a sexually transmitted infection as well, so that's why it falls under me with the hepatitis B. And so our screening on Tuesday from 9 to 1 at the Red Cross Cayman Corporate Center. You would do the blood test there, and the results are available probably from Thursday morning. They would be 48 hours after taking the sample. So we would ask the patient to come back and discuss that result with us. Positive or negative, we just ask the patient to come back face-to-face. we always want to highlight the importance of confidentiality, and some people find may think it's an inconvenience to come back to the doctor or the nurse for results, but it's also to help them understand what the result is. So it's when we do all these tests, it's screening tests. So we're not giving a diagnosis off if anything was to come back positive. We would need to do further testing. In this case, if it was for hepatitis B or C, we'd need to do a viral load test, and we'd need to look at what type of virus it is. So even though if it's hepatitis B or C, there's different strains, different types of the virus. So if I was positive for hepatitis C, I might have type 1, and someone else might have 1B. So there's different, it's very complex. It's not just, okay, we're going to give you some medication because we got this screening test back. We have to do further tests. And as we talked about earlier, our facilities are great here, and our lab is an accredited lab at HSA. It's a fantastic facility, but we do send off the further testing overseas. So we send them up to a lab in Florida, and they look a bit more in depth to see how much of the virus is there. And by knowing what type of virus, so again, if it's 1A, 1B, 2, we can decide what medication to put someone on. And unlike HIV, which is a big part of my job, which is a lifelong illness, hepatitis B has come. The treatment for hepatitis B has come a long way, and for C, and we have great treatment, and we give antiviral medication. So for HIV, we give an antiretroviral medication. For hepatitis, we give an antiviral, and it's a very expensive drug. I remember being given 30-day supply by a pharmacist for a patient, and basically being told, this could be a down payment to a house. It was a lot of money for that medication. It's a very intense treatment, and patients have to be monitored very closely. There's high risk for depression when you're on these medications, and so we do. Going back, it kind of goes hand in hand. You're looking at the whole person. You're not just giving tablets or giving injections and saying, see you in 6 months. You're monitoring that patient and ensuring that they are coming for their follow-up, that they're taking their meds, that their family is aware, obviously with their permission, that discuss it with the family. If they have a partner, that partner would need tested. And with hepatitis B, the great thing about our treatment for hepatitis B is there's a vaccination, as we said. So if I was positive, my partner may be negative, but we'd want to ensure that they were their vaccinations were up to date.
And this is where I think being informed, share. I love the fact that you guys at HSA show such resolve, resilience. How many times have we had you all as our guests when honestly you should have got a doctor's note and stayed at home? Nurse Laura Elniski nursing a little bug, and she's still so diligent. All right, we pause, take a short break, and when we come back, more talk today.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecasts, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
We are Radio Cayman, and this is how we wake you up in the morning. Praise time on Radio Cayman.
Sing your praise to the Lord. Come on, everybody, stand up and sing one more. Hallelujah, give your praise to the Lord. We are united in Jesus Christ. We are the soldiers of the land.
Praise time.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
There's a meeting up in heaven. Roll call. He's a
Praise Time.
Jesus in the morning, yeah.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
Your song flowed through my lips. Your work moved through my hands. Your thoughts stay on my mind. Live in me.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Country classics.
Well, I was born to coal miner's daughter.
On the road again. They're gonna put me in the movies.
Papa Top again.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso. Because you're mine, I walk the line. Well, I love them in
Country classics.
Young love, first love.
You never count your money when you're sitting at the table.
If you enjoy classic country music, come hang out with Radio Cayman this Saturday, 3:30 to 6 p.m.
in the Mississippi cotton picking Delta town.
This Saturday afternoon, following American Country Countdown, 3:30 to 6 on Radio Cayman.
Just walk on by. Wait on the corner.
Country classics.
Talk to Dick. But I do have some questions. Talk to Dick.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk to Dick.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. Thanks for joining us. And in the studio, Nurse Laura Heleniski from the HSA. Or she said it, HSA. I like how you say it.
Do I say HSA? I don't know how I say it.
No, just sometimes, I
My
feel,
Scottish comes through.
Yeah, oh, I thought it was West Bay. Sorry.
That too. I do.
No, I should be. No, I'm so encouraged by the growing investment and interest that we have in our country for our education and our health, and the desire to raise the standards.
Yeah, and prevention is key.
And
a lot of this is can be prevented.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, as you give us an opportunity to get more education, to become better informed and aware, and find out how we can do things so that we are investing in our health and make that be your true measure of wealth, we get better.
Yep, that's right.
All right. So July 20th, you say, going to be marked as World Hepatitis Day, but you were sharing with us prior to the break.
So with hepatitis B, a lot of the time infants and young children don't show any symptoms with it. So you have to look at the symptoms, but sometimes just doing your regular checkup is key, because you might not show symptoms, which we talk about all the time as well, because a lot of these infections won't show any symptoms. But some of the infections can cause loss of appetite, fever, tiredness, pain in muscles, joints, stomach ache, nausea, diarrhea, vomiting. And then the telltale sign for some issue with your liver is jaundice. So that's yellowing of the skin, yellowing of the eyes, the whites of your eyes, dark urine as well. And they can normally appear about 3 to 4 months after the virus has been transmitted. So it's not like the virus has been transmitted last night and you suddenly show these symptoms the next day. 3 to 4 months after the transmission has occurred. So if you're having any of these symptoms, not just feeling quite right in yourself, you should be going to get checked out. And as we say, we do have the free clinic next week. But when we want to talk about hepatitis B as well, talk of the importance of the vaccination. So the first vaccination is at birth. So it's actually within 24 hours of birth. And what we're finding when we talk about our elimination of mother-to-child transmission is that the first vaccination is either done in the hospital or sometimes at their first doctor's visit. So that could be a few days after birth or out to 6 weeks. But we really want to concentrate and push for within the first 24 hours. And that's because we're protecting the baby. Remember, baby has no immune system. They may get their antibodies from the mother's milk, but they still need to be protected. And one of the ways we can do that is through vaccination. So the first vaccination for hepatitis B is within the first 24 hours. When a baby's born, vitamin K is given to the baby straight away. It's actually still in the delivery room. And we're trying to push that maybe we could be doing that at the same time. We'd obviously want to get consent from the mother or father, but we'd want to get that information before they deliver. So during their antenatal visits, get that information to the parents. The second dose is at 6 weeks, and that's the start of kind of regular visits up till 2 years. Every mother and father probably thinks they're at public health, the doctors in the first 2 years all the time with their child because they're always getting vaccinations. In the 6th week, you get your BCG, which is against TB, and your first dose of against the norovirus. And so you would get those 3 vaccinations in one go. This third dose, which is the final dose, is at 9 months. And if they complete those 3 doses of hepatitis B at the right time, so if it was at birth and then you didn't do the second dose till 5 months, you may need to start again. You want to get the time frame correct, and your pediatrician, your nurse, your midwife would be able to discuss that with you. So again, it's at birth within 24 hours, the second dose at 6 weeks, and the third dose at 9 months. It used to be that patients needed a booster when they were older. And when I went into nursing school, we had to get checked. And I remember getting my 3 doses again because I'm in a high-risk job, taking bloods and doing IVs and things like that. And so even people who work in Department of Environment, things like that, they may need to get their hepatitis levels checked. And they may need to have a booster as well. When you go away to universities, a lot of the universities require, they all require to show that you've been vaccinated, but you may need to show, all the certificates and make sure that you are completely up to date with your vaccination. So, if you grew up here, you can obtain all that information from Public Health. The number is 244-2648, and they can look back and make sure that you have all your vaccinations up to date. And, not only just when we talk about hepatitis B, but all the other vaccinations as well. We think we're, a protected little island here, but not only do we travel, but people travel here. So we want to ensure that we are protected in the best way possible. So it's kind of scary thought maybe to a mother or father of a newborn that I want to give my newborn vaccination so early. But if we think about prevention, we're preventing an infant getting a liver disease. And we would want to protect our babies as much as possible. And I remember I have 2 little ones, and I remember going into the doctor and the nurse or the pediatrician, you have your pediatrician appointment and your BCG at the same time at HSA. And so this would be a 6-week appointment, I think it was. And I said to Nurse Angela, "Oh God, you must hate this because there's so many screaming babies." And she said, "No, I view it as prevention." And I thought it was a really good way of thinking you're protecting these babies. Obviously, they're not happy with you at the time. And sometimes, your hormones are going crazy and you're thinking, oh, my poor baby. But it is a good way of thinking about it. You're protecting the baby. And if we can give those 3 vaccinations along with the others, but we're protecting them from a lifelong illness. Mm-hmm. And we have partners who maybe one partner is positive and the other one is protected because their vaccination is up to date.
Yeah. Now, with respect to the newborn and the vaccination, so birth, 6 weeks, 9 months, and thereafter, that's it. Good for life, no more.
It honestly depends on the individual. So it used to be that we gave boosters, but you would have to just get your checkup just to make sure. And if you are in a high risk job, as a nurse, a doctor, A&E, that kind of thing, other ones as well, you may need to have further updates.
Now, what about the individual who, for whatever reason, the adult, is up to date with everything, but has not been vaccinated? Could that person still at age 40 or at age 25, at age 70?
So you do see that maybe they grew up in a country that didn't have their vaccinations, or their mother or father didn't believe in vaccinations. And we see this on the news, especially in the States. There's some those movements that go on, and that when the kid hits 18 and they haven't been vaccinated, they then go, because they are legal age, they go and get all their vaccinations done, and you can.
Yeah, and it'll be the sort of same timeline possibly.
That's right. You would have the same timeline, just at 18 years or however you were. And they can get all the other ones up to date as well. And actually people with who've had cancer, who their immune system has been wiped out clean, sometimes they need to get revaccinated once they're over, over their treatment and things like that. So it's, as I say, it's not just... We are preventing it and vaccine, but it's a lifelong thing that you want to keep your health up to date. So hopefully you do your 3 as a child, as an infant, and that will prevent any infections. But you should just get regular checkups to ensure. Right.
And if I may ask, then, as you're looking, maybe 2 other things. This is summer, so just look at the college students who are going to move. You referenced the colleges asking for vaccinations. You gave the number, and I'll ask if you repeat that. The parent or the prospective student could make inquiries, ask the school what is it they need, check with public health, get the information, have that record to hand.
That's right. They give public health gives a printout. It's signed, copied, sealed, to show that the individual has been up to date with their vaccinations. If there's any outstanding ones, this would be the time to do it, because you've still maybe got a month before they go away. To get that all up to date. And again, the number is 244-2648. And you can, speak with them, and they can help you out as much as possible. And
we need to be able to speak to Nurse Laura in these cases, not just as we focus on World Hepatitis Day, but look at our health and our vaccinations, look at the notion that Hep B is sort of, what you say, transmitted sexually.
Yeah, so it is classified as a sexually transmitted infection. So again, if we are preventing an illness early on in life, you still are at risk. Maybe the levels have dropped a bit when you're older, and then you're in contact with someone who is positive. That would be then a reason to get tested. And the vaccine is actually 95% effective. So you always want to check up on things and make sure that your vaccination is up to date, or that your screening has worked and you are. So there's different tests when we screen as well. You want to look. There's sometimes an antibody test to show that your vaccination is working. That means that your body has produced the antibodies to fight off the illness. And then other ways of making sure that you are protecting yourself. Obviously, when we talk about sexually transmitted infections, we want to talk about condom use as well. If we can just go back to the infant as well, when we test during pregnancy for hepatitis, we test for HIV and for syphilis as well during pregnancy, and we want to ensure that when a pregnant woman is there, we have 2 patients in front of us. We have the mother and the unborn baby. And so we want to prevent the infection being transmitted to the infant. And if there is high levels of the virus in the blood of the mother, we give them antivirals, as I spoke about before. And then at delivery, we would give the baby some medication as well. We'd give them an immunoglobulin. And we'd also give the vaccine within the 24 hours. And that's 2 ways that we can prevent the vaccination being transmitted. And it's highly effective to prevent this baby. As we say, they have no immune system. So we might be, as adults, can fight off the infection if we take the medication and things like that. But an infant, if they were to have a liver disease, that could be very fatal. So Cayman, HSA, we have great testing and treatment to do so.
And this is, as I listen to, hopefully more of us become increasingly aware of not just the level of sophistication, but the availability of what we have here. And sometimes we talk about the cost of healthcare and the cost of the HSA, but we're paying for the health of our nation. And, well, maybe I'll be accused of being political, but it's an investment. If your people are healthy, we continue.
Yeah, and when we work in public health and you do these free screenings, you're looking after the individual, but you're looking after the public as well. And if we can test and treat patients that are positive for HIV, for hepatitis, we are protecting the public as well. So it's an investment in the community.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. If you, hopefully people don't be offended, but if you look at it from a selfish perspective, you have a company and your employees are healthy. No sick days, because of something, no, absenteeism, no this thing. You're more productive. It's a knock-on effect, and it's, but the individual who is away ill because of something, that effect on that person, on the family, the friends, again, very consequential.
Yeah, and as we spoke about at the beginning of the session, that our mental health plays a large aspect on it. So, and especially with something like hepatitis, we do know that treating hepatitis has a big effect on our mental health. So.
Yeah. There's that financial weight alone of the medication. You may have insurance, but does it cover everything?
Yeah. And if you have to, when we can try and do as much as we can on island is not only beneficial to the patient, but to our public as well.
Right. Now, you talked about the transmission and the like, but prevention, you shared with us. We see the causes, we see some of the symptoms and the signs. Hopefully people now listening will be proactive, but don't get over the alarm.
Yeah, so our biggest prevention is the vaccination. It's as I say, it's highly effective, and there's 3 vaccinations to ensure that you are completely up to date with your protection. And then because it is a sexually transmitted infection, to use condoms correctly and consistently. And whenever we talk about one STI, it does cover all the others as well. So you want to protect yourself against the other infections.
We can't stress it enough. And being our best advocates for our own health.
Yeah,
and information is key.
Yes. Thank you.
You guys are amazing. So the 28th of July is actually World Hepatitis Day, but on the Tuesday, will be the
Tuesday the 30th at the Red Cross admin offices, which is at Cayman Corporate Center on Hospital Road. So if you're coming from the hospital to the studio here, behind the glass house, it's the big yellow building. If you're coming from the hospital on your right-hand side, big yellow building with blue windows, and we're on the ground floor there from 9 to 1. Just a walk-in service. You don't need to make an appointment. We'll do a full hepatitis screen, HIV, and syphilis screen.
That's blood work?
It's blood test, yeah.
Okay. Yes, people know, yes.
Yep, no, full blood test, yeah. It's a small amount of blood, quick and easy.
Quick and easy, yeah. Trained nurses are on hand. No lollipop, but hey.
Well, maybe. I have them in my office. Maybe I'll bring them to the Red Cross.
There you go. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it. And hopefully we'll be able to talk about it as we go forward. So stay tuned for Talk Today when we come back. Rejoin us, please.
There are plenty of reasons to be a Logic customer. There's lightning fast internet connectivity. There's the great overall customer experience. And now you can improve your Wi-Fi connectivity with Logic Boost Wi-Fi for free. With Boost, you can extend your freedom to stream, game, and download seamlessly anywhere in your home, like your patio or your underground lair if you have one. Sign up now for any Logic Bundle package and get free Boost Wi-Fi for a limited time. Visit logic.ky for details.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman. Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
The Office of Utility Regulation turns down a rate increase for Cayman Water Company, which provides water to residents in West Bay and 7 Mile Beach. Executive Director of Energy and Utilities for OFREG, Greg Anderson, concluded there was, quote, no justification for a rate increase. In international headlines, nearly half of the firefighters battling a wildland blaze north of Reno have been pulled off the fire lines now that it is 80% contained. The Sierra Front Dispatch Center said today that they're moving now into the mop-up stage at the fire that has burned nearly 2 square miles of mostly rangeland, destroying a home and 2 outbuildings near Spanish Springs. About 120 firefighters remained on the scene today, down from more than 200 the day before. Investigators believe 2 target shooters started the Jasper fire on Saturday afternoon. They've been booked on suspicion of destruction of property by fire with gross negligence. U.S. industrial production was down flat in June as a slump in utilities was offset by gains in output by factories and mining. The Federal Reserve in the U.S. said today that manufacturing production increased 0.4% last month, aided by a nearly 3% surge at auto plants. Still, factory output has been weak over the past 12 months, posting a moderate gain of just 0.4%. The manufacturing sector has faced challenges because of U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs against China and the retaliatory taxes imposed by that country. Those are your headlines. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us, and we invite you to share with us if you have a cause you want to advocate, you got a comment, you want to maybe sort of share with the rest of us. There's a query, there's a question, there's a statement, there is something that gives you pause. Well, share with us. 949-8837, 949-6990. Quickly, if we might, on behalf of, team manager Anton Seymour and his team, the upcoming sort of preliminary men's Olympic qualifiers on the 24th through the 28th of this month at the Truma Borden Sports Complex. Come out and be a part of the discussion as I try to find myself more comfortably seated in this chair, if I can find the mic properly. I don't know. Have I become more conscious of those gleaming cameras as they sort of beam on you? Radio, Miss Susan. Not otherwise. Well, the first game is on the 24th of July. Cayman will take on Grenada. On the 26th, Grenada and Haiti. And then on the 28th, Haiti and Cayman will go head-to-head. And all the games are at the Truma Borden Sports Complex. They start at 7:30. Tickets $10, 12 at the gate. And you can get your tickets from a number of places. HMBSO, on Sheridan Road and on Westbury Road, together with eventpro.ky. Yeah, I like football, but then I like probably more sports as well. So it's just, what I say, if you can't play it, you can spectate. Well, imagine if you knew how to play and then you spectate, you even become more involved. Well, let's support our players. You never know where it'll take us. So let's have some pride, and as Chico shared earlier, let's be the 12th man in the stand cheering on the team. Well, as we look at that aspect of health, perhaps on behalf of the HSA, as we celebrate World Hepatitis Day, there are going to be some free screenings 9 to 1 at the Red Cross at Big Yellow Building there on Hospital Road on the 30th, that Tuesday during their normal session. Tuesdays they have free screenings, and on the next Tuesday they'll throw in to the mix for Hep B as well, since that's the focus this time around for World Hepatitis Day. Well, 949-8037, 949-6990. Let's hit to the phones and welcome our callers. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir. How are you today?
I'm kind of annoyed.
Well, you probably, like a lot of people, they're annoyed. But let's not be annoyed. Let's be overjoyed. And sometimes, when we make our contributions to life, if we're succinct, if we're impartial and objective, hey, we may have better outcomes.
Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
See, one problem I have is that I don't get a chance to exercise my freedom of speech as well as I could, because up until last week, when I was trying to talk to those health workers, I could not finish what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
But in the morning, I said I comment about the churches, but did not get to explain.
Right.
So left people with the impression that I was onto the church or something, you know?
Right. Now, I'll ask you, because I know sometimes when you call, like me personally, and I don't mean to be overly disrespectful if I seem so when you're sharing, but if you're talking and you want to get to point C and you go through A, B, and D and everything else, sometimes not only will you lose the audience, but then it's like, well, where are we going with this? Or if some of us, we talk about everything and not get to that sort of mean point. It may not be the most productive way sometimes in the public sphere to share everything. What do they say? Not in good feet. Yeah, what is it I say, Miss Susan? Not in good feet, good for talk, or something like that. But anyway, talk to me. Let's see how we can help allay some of that anxiety that you have today.
What is trying to get through to those health workers nowadays? That it would save the health, insurance companies a lot of money, save the patients a lot of money. If they transferred more the patients in Cuba rather than America.
Okay, but let's look at the other aspect of it. Maybe, and that is a perspective that you share. It may be shared by others. It may be something that would prove helpful financially as well as the quality of healthcare. But there could be other parameters belaboring that or voicing that without any sort of conclusive, evidence-based sort of input. What would be the point if we can't achieve it?
Only wanted to make a suggestion, and she could give me a reason why it could not work. Because America has the highest health care in the world, as she said, but we all know Cuba has a very good doctors, one of the best doctors. And if you can pay half of the price to recommend your patients to Cuba rather than America, you could cut your health care costs.
I hear you, but what I'm saying is, could there be some other intervening factors that may not cause us to bring about that outcome that you're trying to?
I know what the factor is, you see? Because, as I said in the morning show, about the hypocrisy in the churches. Now, I get that from my friend that said these things. I mean, you might know they call him Jesus. And he had to call the Bible. And a lot of his preaching was against the hypocrisy in the churches.
Right? Okay.
Now, what I'm saying is that they let the children first be filled. Right? Let the patients first be taken care of. No matter if they have contacts with hospitals in the States or whatever. Right? Because on a local level, and we all know the conflict that is continuing between the different gangs in the church that they call different denominations. The Seventh-day Adventists are preaching against the Catholics.
Right. But that's, I mean, neither here nor there, right? Let's focus on two things. One, when it comes to church, is it a case that we don't go to church because we say all in there is a bunch of hypocrites? I mean, maybe we'll go and be one of them, or we'll go to get the spiritual nourishment. And then secondly, with respect to the healthcare. Now, I don't want to belabor it. I certainly don't want to be too dismissive of you, but as we move to the next caller, what else you want to share with us?
Hello?
Yeah.
This is what I want to explain, because the spiritual life of a nation is of utmost importance. Right? And if they are using these churches to spread lies about the Word of God, I take great offense to that. Because I believe in my God and I follow my Jesus, my Christ. Right? And if they do not like what I say, I challenge anyone to come back and tell me anything I'm saying that is not Scripture, not the Old Testament either, from the words of Jesus himself.
Right, but if you say things publicly and nobody take down, then either two things. Either they don't see it has merit, or they may see that it has such value that they can't challenge it, Or maybe they're just not hearing, your audience may not be listening.
Even the bad and Nicodemus was afraid because they were throwing him out of the church. So many of the church leaders know the truth, but they're afraid to speak it because of the fear they would get thrown out of the church. I had a friend thrown out of the seminary in America, from where a lot of these ministers come, because he spoke against the homosexuals. He had the nerve to speak up about that and got thrown out of the church.
In the Cayman context, you think a lot of the people who preach in the church come from North America, the U.S. in particular, or come from the region? In Cayman?
A lot of them have their head offices. Mind, there are very good judges here. I've been to almost all these judges. Right? And people like Pastor Allison at the Church of God there, Agape, and several others. I have a lot of respect for.
Right.
Because they're preaching the true word of God.
Right.
But when I hear other people coming and preaching things that directly contrary to what is written in the word, is my brother and my Father God, and I take a lot of offense of them.
Yeah, well, there are those who come and, what I say, the scripture talks about, beware of false prophets. But hey, thanks very much. And maybe again today you feel slighted, but hopefully not. And tomorrow we just have to work with it. Thanks for sharing with that.
The churches need to do something about it. They're not being quiet.
Well, like anything, we got to do something about those things that aren't as they should be, but are will be. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. You're on Talk Today. Okay, 1-800-534-8255 as we thank the caller for his contribution and go to the other line. Welcome. Good afternoon. You're on Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Sterling.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you today?
Not too bad. Sterling,
yes, ma'am.
I'm not calling to complain.
No, of course not.
Not one bit. But I just want to say that the nice program is on the road. I came into town to go to the doctors, and Sterling, I was over there by the mango tree area trying to get a lunch, and I counted 22 nice programs in the center there between in the center of the road trying to paint and whatever. Sterling, any job that is not supervised properly, you're not going to get a good job. We talk about trade schools till we can't talk about trade schools no more. We know we got this nice program coming out every year. We got a bunch of amateurs that knows nothing about painting. Sterling, you want to tell me that they can't do a 6-week course with these guys who's going to come out there and do this little painting to brighten up the island and so forth. Sterling, the paint is very watery. They're rolling the roller, and the paint is just dripping from the roller. They roll it onto the grass. They roll it onto the plant, and they are so back to back with each other. Some are just standing, running their mouth, and carrying on and carrying on, carrying on. I don't know what they can get done between a mango tree and the little entrance piece going into the airport road with 22 people that I counted. I'm glad they got something to do. But to me, I've been noticing them for several years now. It doesn't look like anything that is properly organized, because Sterling, if you're trying to paint the sidewalk there, and you rolling, and you got 5 guys behind you doing nothing, looking at the traffic, waving your friends, and carrying on and carrying on and carrying on, I don't call that being constructive. But these guys are looking for work. It need to be planned out. Right. A whole lot better than what it is. But let me finish first, sweetie, before you... No,
sorry, yeah. You go ahead.
And Sterling, the thing with it, right? They have rental vans driving these staff around. Now, Sterling, if you got these guys that they're peeing, how can you go and rent a van and these guys going to jump back into the van? Are they cleaning up themselves before they go into these vans with that paint on them? Is that going to be another extra money for government to have these vans clean, supposedly, and so forth with yellow paint on it? And getting to the seaweed, a couple of weeks ago down South Sound, they had a truck down there and they had a bulldozer down there, okay? I never see much hand working down there. I see up here in Bordentown, they got the guys going down to the beach and bringing the seagrass up onto the main road. And then they're going to take it and shovel it into bags. Sterling, if the seaweed is on the beach down there, why can't they put a piece of tarp down there or some plywood, put the seaweed on it, shovel it into the bags, and then bring it up to the top of the road to be picked up? It is like you're going backwards. That is my opinion in what I see.
Mm-hmm.
It is good they got something to do, but it looks like no proper supervision going on with these guys when they come out the road to work. It's been going on for years now, but it's painting. You can go out there right now, all you can see on the road is things that they were supposed to get no yellow paint, has paint on it. The bush are hanging over the roll, and I watched the guy, the roller right over the piece of yellow flower that's hanging out of the garden there by Mango Tree in the airport entrance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you want to tell me someone couldn't walk with a nipper and nip that off or pull it up and paint it properly? Come on, man. These people are working like they're being fed Kool-Aid. And no one is giving them a proper supervision. No 22 people can stand in one spot from Mango Tree to the entrance into the airport. They're not even over in there fosters. 22 people. And then they got they're going to jump into a rental van. I can't wait to hear what cost the government to clean those rental vans with the yellow paint when they're finished. What were you going to say, sweetie? Well, then I can't get myself too worked up.
I better not say anything else then. I might get you worked up.
You talk.
No, I'll listen for now. But no, you I think you said it all. You said it all. You know, I just think back to the New Deal, where the U.S. administration at the day, what they said, they paid one group to dig holes and the other group to fill them in, you know, to put money back into the economy, you know. So maybe this is part of jump-starting the things, you know.
But Sterling,
yeah, well.
the 22 people in that one spot alone, if we got that amount of K-minus, I couldn't even recognize two K-minus in the crowd. Honest to my goodness, and I was watching them while I was sitting waiting for this person to go and get this lunch for me.
Yes, well.
And Sterling, I couldn't even recognize too many K-minus out there. So we got all these in the young people. I don't even think they were 40 years of age.
But is
why
that
they can't get a job?
Yeah, is that the challenge then, that we're not, as a country, we're not recognizing the challenges that are being sort of, you know, before people, not only to find employment but to keep it. And it's seemingly not just those people that we as a society have labeled as unemployed or unemployable. We heard politicians use those terms. We see people whose skill sets, for some reason, we complain about, you know, they can't read or write or they're not this or that. But what, as you shared, what are we doing to help them? But what about the people? Yes, ma'am.
See how pastors many years gone by couldn't read and write. But they could have preached on the Bible left, right, and center. We got people on the road who do construction work and drive taxi and can't read and write, but they can count that dollar bill. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So you may not be hiring something, but you can be hiring something else.
Right.
If the person cannot deal with money and they can do something else on the job, give them the job.
Right.
But as long as we got this nice program going on, Sterling, and bringing them out twice a year, once a year to work, what about the other 11 months of the year? What are they supposed to do?
This is, you know, as you're sharing, what are we doing to make sure that, what is it, the word, you know, sustainable, consistent, something that is going to put our people to, you know, long-term employment. And it's as you shared and recognize, it is something, and it shows that the individuals who sign up for it are able and are willing to work. But
strong
maybe,
people.
Maybe it speaks to an issue that.
But Sterling,
yes,
we got to stop settling for less. The young Kimanians got to put their feet down and say, you know what, I want more. And for me to want more, we do need these trade schools in Kimania. Like I said, they notice things coming up every year. Go and do a little 6 weeks crash course in the public work department. Give them some little piece of wood to paint and make them know how much paint's supposed to be on the paintbrush. Let me give you a joke about my house. When I first got my house, my cousin came to make me say, let me tell you something. You got to do a lot of things on here, but your second is going to be very expensive. And Sterling, let me tell you something. I painted my house for years. But when it came to the cutting, I couldn't cut to save my life. But you know what I started doing? I started buying tape. And taping where I didn't want the paint to go. And when I pulled that son of a gun off, I had to kind of clean clean arms. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You have the teacher.
Yeah.
And the supervision that they got out there, they're not doing their job.
Yeah. Well, I looked at it this way, and I hear you, and I looked at it that if we hear from so many people who say in a very disrespectful tone that they don't want to work, right? These people don't want to work. That is most unfortunate, because what we're seeing now is that, yes, they do want to work. They're willing to do, whether it's the painting, the gardening, or the things that some of these people say, oh, they don't want to do. So it shows that we have the people there. They're willing to do the work. And as you shared, can we provide the opportunities, for them? So it's a challenge, It's a challenge. But thanks very much, Mom. All right. You enjoy your afternoon. One final break or one call, Miss Susan? She's telling me where to go? All right. Well, that seems to be a good sign. I better follow that one. Let's pause and take a break. When we come back, more Talk Today.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Did you know that in the event of a hurricane, water designated for the purposes of drinking, cooking, and bathing must be disinfected before use? Water may be disinfected either by boiling or through the use of chlorine bleach. To disinfect through boiling, simply leave the water on the fire for 1 minute after it begins to boil. To disinfect with bleach, add 3 ounces of chlorine bleach to every 1,000 gallons of water. If you are not able to smell the bleach in the water after 30 minutes, then add half of the amount of bleach that was added during the initial application. Recheck the water after 15 minutes to ensure that there is a residual bleach smell. A residual bleach smell is an indicator that the water has been properly disinfected. For more post-hurricane safety tips, visit DEH website at deh.gov.ky.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecasts, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. Thanks so much for joining us in the studio. If you happen to be watching us on our YouTube channel as well good for you. You see the company I keep sometimes. Well, it's Ivana Martinez, Miss Cayman International Girl. Thank you so much for coming on board again this year.
Thank you so much for having us. Each time we come on here, we just get more and more excited about being able to reach out to the community and to all the listeners and let them know a little bit of what's going on with us. I'm just always so grateful with our community. They're just so awesome and always so supportive.
We have a wonderful community, I honestly.
Yes.
I see joining you brought even better stuff into our studio.
Yes,
so Tracy Barnes, Fagan, good afternoon to you, Mom.
Hi, good afternoon. So I'm the reigning international miss in the Cayman Islands International Girl Pageant.
Yeah, I like how she says that.
So regal.
Yeah, exactly, as it should be. And the notion that we get a chance to do this live draw so that people can see firsthand. I Must confess, though, I'm glad that I didn't do my nails. Cause
I know.
Tracy, I feel bad for you, man. You gotta put those wonderful manicured nails into that small little thing. Ay. But tell us about it before we get to the
Okay,
the
so
draw.
basically, Cayman International Girl, we were on earlier on just explaining how we've been around for 5 years and we do numerous fundraisers after the local competition to take the girls overseas. Each year, the state changes. This year, we're back in Texas. In 2015, we did Texas, then we did Oklahoma, Atlanta, and Orlando. And then this year, we're going to Texas. And the raffle ticket for $5 is our biggest main event. It's by far the biggest fundraiser that we do. And it was supposed to actually take place yesterday, but here we are today, ready and happy to do it. And we're glad that we waited another day because we got to sell even more little tickets, even in that space of time. So thank you so much, everyone, for your support. And so here we go, as usual, doing the live drawing so everyone knows that it's fair and this is how it's done. You know?
This is how we do it, she says. All right, well, now, I hope Susan had you sign a disclaimer that we're not responsible for your nails.
I think my director will cover that
she
in case of
covered
any nails being broken before the pageant. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that, because last time when I did my nails, no, but I appreciate it. So you're going to take us through, she's going to draw it, and then we take the prizes, right?
Yep. So basically, the ladies have the initiative, or they're responsible to get these prizes to make this raffle ticket possible. Some great prizes are here. Most people donated these. Only a few companies we had to purchase them from, but nevertheless, we're still very excited and happy. So we're going to go right into it. We're going to start with the first giveaway, which is a Subway voucher for footlong sandwich. So here we go, Tracy.
All
Let
right.
it rip.
Well, I tell you what, she goes into the, is it a bowl?
First winner.
So our first winner is Victoria.
Okay. Congratulations, Miss Victoria, and thank you. We shall be calling you.
All right. And then she, this was okay, back in the days of audit. She puts it in the back of it. All right. Subway.
And the next one, we're moving on to a Bath and Body Works gift set. Bath and Body Works gift set. Some of our moms go beyond with giving us more than one gift. One of those moms was Miss Cherry, Lisa Russell. She was on with us earlier. She was with us from 2015. She's one of the moms that provided more than one gift.
So we have Miss Caroline Smith as the winner.
Congratulations, Miss Caroline. You received a Bath and Body Works gift set. Then we're going to move on to 1 hour face painting. 1 hour face painting.
This is with, a regular paint, oil base, and latex. I mean,
well, it's more catered to children's party.
I just
Yeah.
I guess true.
So we have Gary Christian as the winner.
Congratulations,
All right.
Mr. Gary. Thank you for your support.
No,
Mr.
I
Gary
know you
Christian.
have wonderful support there. I was just wondering, looking at the feedback. You got like a couple of prizes you want to draw a couple at a time, you want to do them individual. How
Oh,
do you-
yeah, sure. Draw a couple at a time if you can. If it makes it easier, that's
Yeah,
fine.
I just
so
wonder-
we're going to go, I guess, in the interest of time, and it's radio, not TV, so that's fine. So the next prize is face painting. Here we go, face painting. Miss Bianca Amaya. Miss Bianca Amaya. I hope you have kids. If you don't, you can give it to a niece or a nephew, maybe a co-worker
Miss
that has
Amaya?
kids. Congratulations, Miss Amaya. Face painting. The next one is A.L. Thompson's gift certificate. Mr. Denon Derrick. Thank you so much, A.L. Thompson.
Wow.
Okay. Then we have another one here. Ches Inn Restaurant. It's a certificate. And this is Anslo Griffins, I think. Doesn't matter. I can read your phone number. So I will be giving you a call. Congratulations for Ches Restaurant. Gift certificate, $25. Going to move on to a salon gift certificate, $25. This is Mr. Kenzel Dixon. I think I know him, Mr. Kenzel Dixon.
And he's not familiar,
Years
yeah.
ago, yeah. Salon gift certificate, $25. And now we're going to go to High Definition Barbers. Riancy Miller. Riancy Miller, I think that's what it says.
Okay.
So you have a High Definition Barbers Haircut and Shave. The next winner is Tam Wright. Tam Wright, high definition barbers, cut and shave. Cut and shave. Here's another one. Haircut and shave, Alvina Henriquez. Alvina Henriquez, thank you all so much. Much appreciated. And even if you're not a man and you can't get a cut and shave, you can give it to a husband, a brother, an uncle, anyone. That's, that can work as well.
That can work as well, huh?
We have a gas voucher, Ruby's gas voucher, $25. Reen Elias for a Ruby's gas voucher. Let me put that on the back. Another one, Gin Charles, Ruby's gas station voucher. Thank you so much again for your support.
So Gin Charles, not gin tonic. Gin Charles.
Another gas voucher for a Jamel Rankin. Thank you so much for your support, Jamel Rankin. Congratulations. We have a Leah Connery. Congratulations, $25 gas voucher. Leah Connery, gas. Okay, and I think we had one more gas voucher. Chris Jackson, gas voucher. Chris Jackson. Thank you, Rubies. Always an awesome sponsor throughout the year. Now we have 4 gift certificates for Exclusive Beauty Salon. Thank you so much for your support, Exclusive Beauty Salon. And this is Darren Buke.
Yeah. As I was, watching, Miss Tracy, she has her hand down that thing, twisting her hand around. I hope you're going to paper cuts,
Just stirring them around.
You're stirring that.
Yeah. The possibility. And
you used to make soup. I need bread. I think I can see this now.
So, Exclusive Beauty Salon, we have Aria Adam as well, a Leonard Ebanks, and Sophia Benjamin. And for the guys, I'm not going to say give it to your wife or anything. You can go and enjoy a good pedicure yourself. That's fine.
In fact, you should. This guy.
1, 2, 3. That was 4. Yep. Exclusive Beauty Salon. Now we're going to move on to Impressions Beauty Salon. They've sponsored us before with giving us gift certs for this very same prize. Thank you so much. Impressions. And the recipient is Stephanie Ebanks, I think that's what it says. Stephanie Ebanks, congratulations. As long as I can read the number, I'll be giving you a call. That's very important. Kelvy Jack, thank you so much. You receive a Revive Vitamin B12 injection. Thank you, Revive Vitamin B12 injection, so you can be healthy for the summer, work out your summer body, all that jazz. Now we're going on to another prize. This is the salon for a wash and blow dry. Miss Nadine Matherin. This is the salon. Thank you so much. Congratulations, Nadine. Okay, now we're going to move on to a chicken. People were actually more excited about chicken than the Cayman Airways voucher. It was crazy. Wow. They were like, ooh, chicken. I was like, I haven't been there in a while. I need to go check them out. Thank you so much. This is chicken. And Miss Heather Barrow. Miss Heather Barrow. Thank you so much. Chicken voucher. And I hope you enjoy your chicken for the summer. We have G's and Gents, $50 gift cert. Thank you so much. This is for a Catherine Hyde. No.
Your phone number is clear.
There we go. So this is G's and Gents, so you can be dressed fly. Now we're going to move on to a 1-hour session for Tatum Photography. This is an up-and-coming photographer locally. 1-hour photography, Miss Diane Maldonado and Stefan. Congratulations. You can get your pictures early done for Christmas without the Christmas rush. Birthdays, however you want to celebrate it.
Work it out, man.
Tracy, you want to say something? I feel like I'm the only one talking.
Well, we've been listening to you. But Tracy is so busy, right?
So busy.
Tracy, what do you think?
Sure, I'm shuffling and, letting the odds be even out there,
Yeah. You put your hands down there, man. You got it clear.
Okay, so this is Agile Fit. I thought this was very impressive donation. Thank you so much, Agile Fit. 6-month membership, a 6-month membership, along with a 1-month free trial for personal trainer. So I thought that was a very good gift certificate. Thank you so much. Claudette Mari, you are the recipient of 6 months Agile Fit. And Bodin Kendi, thank you so much for your support. And $5 definitely went a long way for you, I would say.
Yeah. $5 for a chance to support. Yeah.
Okay, so we have a quincentennial movement. This is an intro session, for quincentennial movement. Miss Lehia Whitaker. Quintessential. Quintessential. Thank you so much. Quintessential movement. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, I apologize. Thank you for your sponsorship. Either way.
It's so good to see the corporate community come on.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Our next draw, this is our 4th to last prize. This is for Atlantis Submarine. Again, they have been with us from the beginning, from 2015. Thank you so much. Thank you. It is much appreciated. We know that you guys don't need to be doing this. No one needs to be doing this, but we thank you so much and we appreciate it. So this winner is Mr. John A. Congratulations. And next person. This is Captain Marvin's, another one of my biggest sponsors from the beginning. Been with us since 2015, and they always give up to 6 vouchers at a time. You know, that's a lot for a business. So we thank you so much. And the winner is Garth Ebanks. You can enjoy for 2 persons a 3-hour snorkel tour with Captain Marvin's. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your $5, and thank you, Captain Marvin's. Now we have Turtle Farm as well. Very big supporter of the community. They've been supporting us and giving gift certificates since 2015 as well. Even on the odd chance that they might not give one time, it doesn't hurt us. We still would purchase it because they've been there from the beginning, and it doesn't hurt, give and get. That's awesome. The winner is Martin Floria, I think it says. Congratulations. Go and enjoy Turtle Farm with your family. It's for 5 persons, 2 adults, 3 kids. Turtle Farm. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you. And now, the big... were these here? No. Yeah, okay. Sorry. Names on it. Okay. This is the big Sharaha.
So the Miss Cayman International Girl Raffle, right?
Miss Cayman's International Girls Raffle. This is the Cayman Airways voucher. This one we purchased. That's fine. But happy to give to the community. I mean, what better way to spend $5 than a chance to get a 200 gift voucher and help these young ladies go and represent the Cayman Islands. So here we come. This is it. Congratulations to everyone.
And Tracy, he has tugged. Susan Watson. Oh, sorry.
You have to play to win. No. Ween Bob. Mr. Ween Bob. Congratulations. You are the winner of our $200 voucher for Cayman Airways, Mr. Ween Bob. Congratulations. I'm pretty sure I might not even have to call some of these people for these winnings. They'll be contacting me.
There you go, man.
You can call me 325-6006, 325-6006. Thank you so much.
Well, we appreciate it. And as you have shared, you've taken the young ladies over the years. The community has been supportive, has a chance. Tracy, I know being a part of the process, it is obviously, you thought, the hard part was all the other good things to do, but being a part of that bowl, that must be the most challenging. I feel for you. Thank you, though, for,
You're welcome. I mean, the stirring was a little bit challenging, but we overcome that challenge. So.
Well, my hands are still sore from last time.
I remember you said that.
I had to go to the gym afterwards.
I believe you. You were afraid to come back and do it. So see, I bought you some assistance.
Thank you.
See?
No, I appreciate it. And I watch you get on there, and I'm thinking, man, that's a good soup that you make. And you get all mixed up down the bottom, pulling the things up. But honestly, Ms. Ivana, they wanted to have the community come out, and it's $5. We understand. For some, they do it because, you know what, it's
They
just
just wanna
$5,
support,
but they want to
yeah.
support.
Mhm.
If others, it's a sacrifice, but
Yes.
collectively it makes a difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So off to Texas we
Yeah,
go.
off to Texas we go. And those persons, even those that didn't buy a $5 raffle ticket and they said, this is all I have $1. We take it. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Because every penny counts and every penny made a difference for those girls. Every single one.
Mhm.
Every single one. So we thank you for the change, for the 1 cent. Some people were even embarrassed and was like, this is all I have. We'll take it. Thank you very much. That is more than enough. 25 cents, 50
one
cents.
bit at a
50
time.
Yeah.
Well, Tracy, what do you think?
Yeah, I can echo exactly what Ivana said. I've been out there to all of the big sales, and at first I was a little bit shy on asking, but then when I saw people lining up to get tickets, I'm like, oh, I don't even need to ask. Oh, this is the Cayman International Girl ticket. Can I have one? Because I bought one last time at this venue, and I'm like, okay, it seems easier than I thought. So, yes.
Well, we hope that, you know, by helping you do this, that it achieves what you have shared a couple of times, and the notion that people, as best as we can, at least you can see it. And Tracy, you did a great job. I believe now you.
Since I succeed in this one, I'm saying I'm going to probably just succeed as well when I go abroad.
There you
You see, overcome them one step at a time.
I like it.
Positivity.
All right. Well, we look forward to being able to
Thank you
support
so
you in
much.
many ways. And,
Thank
and
you,
thanks so
thank you.
much, right?
And biggest thank you ever to Radio Cayman once again. Thank you so much. Much love. Very much from the beginning, and not only just for these raffle things, for like interviews that we did today, and behind the scenes, Mr. Joel does our speeches and things of that sort for the queens when they're giving up their crowns and helping with the music. I know he's probably sick and tired of me, but all times messaging him in the middle of the night, please, we're going away and I forgot this one, or this child didn't get this song, and he's always so helpful. Thank
he's
you
amazing,
so
man.
much, Radio Cayman. Thank you so much.
Thank
you. Well, thank you all, and I'm glad that we have a country that is so supportive. And
Absolutely.
every little bit that's done with love can make a big difference.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
thanks very much. All
Thank
right?
you, thank you.
Thank you.
You guys enjoy your afternoon. To our listeners, this is what makes us a good community, working together. Please come back tomorrow for more talk today. Certainly want you to be a part of it. But first, join Mr. Art in the morning for the record. There's Youth Flex after talk today, right, Susan? But no, why not sit back and relax and enjoy the easy listening songs that she's going to play. Will there be a country song in there for me? Will there be, you know, a little bit of slow soulful stuff? We'll see. Until tomorrow, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Kind of like one surgery fits all. You're saying, you know, that's not necessary. That's not going to be the case with me. And that's good to hear.
For the Health of It is proudly brought to you by
Eating Clean. Wake back up to quality foods with eatingclean.com. That's clean with a K. EATINGKLEAN.com.